This is a tournament preview for TSHFT, which is the second tournament this November I'll be going to. It's being held on November 9th and 10th, 2013. It's a 2,500 point tournament, and I'm quite excited for it. A little background about TSHFT is TSHFT is a club based around Seattle, Washington, and they mainly play 40K from what I understand. A friend of mine is big into TSHFT events. He regularly heads down to Seattle for 40K tournaments, and they decided they want to branch out to Vancouver. So this is TSHFT Vancouver. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of these. They say they want to run like 6 events per year. Probably not all in Vancouver, but some on Vancouver Island, perhaps some in Kamloops area. We'll have to see, but I'm excited for more tournaments. A lot of people have some problem with tournaments being close to each other, but I think it's more for personal reasons of tournament organizers around here not liking each other. I think it's bullshit. I want everyone to get together because I want more tournaments in general. I don't care how close they are. If you can't make it to one, I understand things come up, but I'm going to try and earn as many brownie points with my wife that I can make it to all the tournaments. Because I want to make more videos, I want to play more games, I want to be pushed to paint something new. It's just good motivation, and it keeps everyone in the hobby healthy and happy, I guess. We have a pretty good group in Vancouver. We have many game clubs, especially for fantasy. Which is funny because Fantasy actually got more sign-ups in Vancouver for TSHFT than 40K did, and TSHFT is a 40K event, essentially. I think the main prize for the winner of TSHFT 40K is a ticket for Cruise Hammer, which is a tournament held on a cruise ship. Some of you may have heard of it, but I think it's also mostly 40K. Anyways, on to the actual list itself. So my general is this Archlector, who's mounted on a barded steed. He's got Van Horseman Speculum and the Sword of Striking, which I think is the +1 to hit sword. I gave this to him because Van Horseman Speculum does not allow weapon skills to be swapped anymore. It's still a good item, I still really like it, but it got a little bit nerfed. Also, I think it got a little bit more expensive, but really not a huge deal, I'm not complaining. It's still really good. I would take it. It's the only thing that makes an Archlector combat worthy in a challenge. 2 attacks is just sad. He's got an enchanted shield as well for the 1-up. I tried to put a Dawnstone on him, but I ended up taking it off, as well as a Dispel Scroll on my wizard, I think, to add in another Demigryph Knight, because I had one less Demigryph Knight before. I have a BSB who's also mounted on a barded steed. He's got full plate, he's got the Charm Shield, and he's got a Warrior Bane, I think. I'm really worried about ethereal units after the last tournament where I faced an army with 4 ethereal units. Holy crap. So now I have 2 answers to ethereal units outside of my magic phase. Speaking of magic phase, I took a level 4 Heavens Wizard with no gear, and 2 Master Engineers to help out my Hellblaster. For core, I took a bus of 11 Inner Circle Knights. This is the main difference between this list and the list I took to the previous big tournament, Wet Coast. And I think the main reason I did this was because my Halberd block usually just stays back and doesn't do much. Essentially a waste of points, in my opinion. So in inspiration to try to use my core more than just as a bunker that sits in the back, I took some fighty stuff that can actually kill things in close combat, and that are better than Strength 3. I have my Standard of Discipline in the Knight bus as well. This kind of allowed me to get more magic gear on the BSB. I think he needs to be a little more survivable if he's going to be in a Knight bus that's potentially going to be getting in combat with things that might kill him. So that's why I gave him the Charm Shield and stuff like that. I have 2 units of Chaff Knights with Musician, This is pretty standard for my lists. I really like these guys. And I have a bunker of 10 archers that my Celestial Wizard will sit in. Skirmishers are nice for a bunker for two reasons, in my opinion. It's -1 to hit with ballistical shooting, which is the obvious reason. But maybe a little less thought of is when he miscasts, he's not going to blow the shit out of a block of swordsmen, or a block of halberdiers, or a block of greatswords. He's going to hit maybe one or two guys. If you space it correctly, with 2-inch intervals between each model, then you'll just hit the wizard. So, that's kind of cool. And for special, I took 2 units of 4 Demigryph Knights. This is my staple. I really like this. I find most enemies have the capability of dealing with 1 unit of Monstrous Cav, but that second unit just bones them so hard. Especially when it has a 1-up save, and -3 to your armor save. Yeah, Demigryphs are just good. One of the units of Demigryphs I gave the Flaming Banner, and you'll actually see a picture of it coming up later. The reason I did this is because at Wet Coast, the last big tournament, like I said, I ran into an Orc and Goblin player who I did 9 wounds to his unit of trolls with my Demigryph Knights, and he made 8 out of 9 regen saves. I know the possibility and chance of that happening again is very low, and I shouldn't base list construction around that, but god damn it, I'm not going to have that happen again. So if I see trolls, my Flaming Banner Demigryphs are going in there. Sorry. Sorry, trolls. But it's going to happen. And to round out my shooting, I have 2 cannons for my special choices as well. Here you can see the freehand on the BSB I did. My main inspiration for the freehand was fellow painters in the area kind of tell me I should show off a bit more. So I don't think I'm very good at freehand, but this turned out decent, I guess. For rare, I just have my steam tank and 2 Hellblasters, and that's the list. So you can tell me what you think in the comments, or, you know, suggest what I should change. Obviously, we haven't seen how the list works yet because the tournament's not for a couple days, but I'm thinking I'm gonna do pretty good. I am comfortable with this list. The only thing I'm not 100% comfortable with is Night Bus. I don't use it often, but I'm confident that it can make up for my inconfidence. There you go. We'll see if it charges in and gets decimated then. Hey, maybe I'll switch back to the Halberdiers. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to making some videos. I'm going to remember to take landscape pictures this time. Some people were complaining about the portrait pictures before. The reason I was doing that was because my phone is very slow with the new iOS operating system, and every time I tried to do the horizontal pictures, the landscape pictures, my phone was crashing. So hopefully it won't, you know, disagree with me on the weekend, and I'll get horizontal pictures of everything. So finally, the last picture here is going to be my list if you want to check it out, point for point. I gotta remember to print one out too, because I didn't print a list for my last tournament, which could have costed me some tournament scores. But yeah, hopefully I will be making videos the day of the tournament. That night I'll probably start, because that's when it's most fresh in my mind, and I hopefully won't miss out on any info for you guys. Thanks for watching.